This video is to show you how to use CloudExtend to upload your credit card statements with a journal entry template. All right, so to start this video off, I do want to mention that we are going to be using the journal entry record type because NetSuite does not support the credit card statement or the credit card record type through SOAP web services. So before we dive into this process, I want to open up a new tab and create a brand new, or show you the journal entry template that we're going to be using to upload the credit card statements. So if you're going to be brand new, you can either select search and download, but in our case, because we're creating a brand new journal, we're going to go create new records. And if you already have a journal entry template created, you can actually start by switching this on, and you can see that it changes the option for the download with a template and also create a record with a template. So in this case, for demo purposes, I already have a journal entry template loaded and created. So I'm going to click on create new records, and it's going to bring me to the list of my templates. So my template will basically, you can sort this to when you have created this, as well as the name, as well as when you edit the templates. But for here, I'm going to edit my current journal entry template I see right here. And I already have all of the fields, so I'm going to just click on add fields. And you can see that I have the internal ID, the custom form, the transaction ID, which is the journal entry number, and the tran date, which is the transaction date. The credit card type is a custom field, so this is optional for you to add onto your journal entry form. And then I have the memo field, which is the memo field within the body of a journal. And now getting down to the sub list, I have the line ID field. I also have the GL account field. Entity is going to be the name field within your journal entry template or your journal entry form inside of NetSuite. And then I also added class, debit, credit, and another memo at the line level. So now that I have all the information, I'm going to click continue, click yes, and this will load my template onto a worksheet. And if you want to name this based off of the operation, you can also provide some description into it. And once you added all that information, click on save and enter data, and it's going to save your template onto your CloudExtend session. So with the instructions that you can see right here, the manual process, it'll make it actually a lot more efficient for you when you go through and create this process for your credit card statement uploads. So the first step is always going to be downloading your credit card statements, whether it be on a PDF download. As long as you download that information into this tab right here in Excel, you have all that information, and that information is going to be later be used in that CloudExtend upload through the journal entry itself. So in the next step, you're going to copy that credit card statement, paste it into the second green tab that we have right here. This is going to be blank. And the reason why this is blank is this information will be fed into the step 3, which is to read basically a CloudExtend journal entry template. And each of the rows right here, you can see that there is a formula, and this formula will allow you to do a lookup on some of the downloads that we have here in yellow. All right, so once I have those 3 steps down, I'm going to go into the 4th step. So the 4th step here is to make sure that if there is any kind of missing vendors, you want to make sure that you add it into the vendor list download. And this download list is very simple. All you need to do is download the company name, and it has the internal ID associated with it. And we're actually going to be using that to feed into the credit card download or the journal entry upload. So the next step here is also making sure that your chart of accounts, make sure that all of this is downloaded with CloudExtend. As long as you download it into a GL account download, we can reference this and upload it into the journal entry template as well. And the 5th option is going to be optional. So if you're going to be missing any kind of vendors, we do recommend adding those by going into a vendor upload template. And this is going to be a CloudExtend vendor template that you can upload the name. The entity ID would be generated, and then from there, the internal ID is going to be populated when you do create a brand new vendor. So now, once we have all the 5th step uploaded with the missing vendors, we can go into the last step, and that is to upload the journal entry. So uploading a journal entry would be actually this third tab right here in green. But let's go through the motion and show you how you can actually use CloudExtend to upload your credit card statement via the journal entry record type. All right, so here I have my credit card statement for American Express. So once I have all that information, I am going to copy this. And I'm gonna go into the second tab here and paste it. And the reason why we do it this way, because the first tab is a download. You're downloading it directly from like a website or from Amex in this case, and download into Excel. So the second tab we have right here is allowing us to paste that information into the tab, and this will feed into the third tab, which will have all the Excel formulas to map that information back into the CloudExtend journal entry template here. So once I have all that information loaded, you can see that I have a formula, and all of this formula will be loaded on the article, so you can actually use that as a reference. But you don't need to use that specific formula. If you do have specific Excel formulas that you're familiar with, you can leverage that as well. But just to confirm, I have the correct date. The credit card type is correct. I have all my GL accounts in the journal entry sublist. I also have the entity. This is just referencing the memo that I have right here from the credit card statement. And it also does have all of the debit information, which will equate to the credit in the credit column here. So now that I have all of this information, I am going to go into upload. And once I'm ready, I will just go down to upload records. And in just a sec, you're going to see that it's going to read the full table here in the right. So it reads cell A3 to M58. And when everything is finished uploading, it will generate an internal ID in column B. And you're going to see that it's going to return back a internal ID that is one internal ID throughout all the rows, because we are uploading specifically one journal entry for the credit card statement. And that is due to the fact that the transaction date and the credit card type is repeated to match the number of line IDs or line lists accounts that we have, as well as the debit and credit in the sublist of the journal entry upload. So now that we have the internal ID generator right here, we can do a reload. And once we reload, it's going to return the transaction ID in column D. And once it returns the transaction ID in column D, this will allow me to go inside of NetSuite to confirm by doing a search and make sure that this journal entry has been uploaded properly. All right, so let's go into NetSuite and confirm that the upload has been successful. All right, so let's go into the global search, and I'm going to run a search for the journal entry that I just created. And as you can see, it pulls it up based off of the results. All right, and as you can see here, the date is correct. Posting period is correct as well. I have all of the GL accounts, and debit and credit is correct. I also have my memos, and also the vendors were uploaded into the name column properly. And if I go into system information, under the system notes, this will let me know who created this, under what kind of context. And so in this case, it's SOAP Web Services, what kind of operation. So this is a brand new create, and it's going to set all of these field values and paste in all of the brand new values that we have uploaded through CloudExtend itself. Thank you for watching this video on how to use CloudExtend when uploading your credit card statements as a journal entry. If you need further support, please visit our support site at support.cloudextend.io.